and those departed. I appreciate that very much. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll join with me in 1 minute of silence to remember the fallen, the prisoners of war, the missing in action, and to honor those who have served and are currently serving the armed forces of this great nation. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as you can, and if there are others that feel they need to sit, there are plenty of seats up front, so if you do need to have a seat, there are plenty of seats up here, so please take advantage of them. Please stand while we post the colors and remain standing for the national anthem sung by Charles Moore. Color Guard, post the colors. Charles, very much. You may be seated if you have a chair. And again, if there's someone out there that does need seating, there are seats over here in the front. Please make use of them. But you'd rather you sitting than falling down. So I'd like to make a few acknowledgments if I can before we get in the middle of it. Out of sight and out of mind, I think unfortunately describes the staff at this and most national cemeteries. Many of us may see what Gloria Bailey and her staff do, and they might think it is mundane, routine, and in some ways not very important. I would not be one of those people. It couldn't be farther from the truth. Every day, each and every day, they are the sentinels and guardians of our nation's heroes. They care for and watch over them and the grounds they reside as if they were guarding our nation's capital, and in doing so represent to the world one of our nation's noblest characteristics. And it's how we care for and remember our veterans. Calvin Coolidge once said, "The nation which forgets the defenders will also soon be forgotten." And I don't think Gloria's here today, but is Christine and your staff? Where are you? If you're here handy, I just want to make sure that you guys get noticed, and you guys do an outstanding job, and thank you very much. Gold Star service flags. Some of you may have seen these here and about. Some of you obviously do know, but all of you may not know what these flags mean. And originally, it became popular in World War II to acknowledge a family's involvement in wartime activity. As a military member deploys, a part of that family is missing. Schedules change, birthdays, anniversaries, and other significant moments are missed. So obviously more than just the military member is affected. For every child that a mother has serving in combat, a blue star is placed on the service flag, with an additional star for every individual that is serving in that family. If a child is unfortunately killed in action, the blue star is replaced by a gold star. Traditionally, the gold star is placed over top of that blue star so that it's highlighted. During Korea and Vietnam, these flags fell out of favor, but thankfully this tradition has been revived with the conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan. There are articles out there you can read on that, but your best bet is to get with a gold star mom or blue star mom and talk to them. And what I'd like to say is to our gold and blue star moms that are here with us today, we appreciate your sacrifice and thank you for your loved ones' service and sacrifice they have made or are making. And thank you for bearing the burden for this nation's freedom. Our focus this year was to be for wounded and disabled veterans. And Theodore Roosevelt said, "A man who is good enough to shed his blood for the country is good enough to be given a square deal afterwards." And as we draw down our forces and our war fighters are coming home, it is important to also remember those that came home earlier, whether it be from World War II or Iraq and Afghanistan. Some bearing unmistakable scars and maladies from the service to this country, some with not so visible scars, but still just as wounded. Some have been combat scarred, some just worn and weary from a lifetime of service to the country. These individuals are owed a debt of gratitude and should be honored as the heroes they are. Some got their victory parade or homecoming and others did not. But today and every day going forward, we should acknowledge their service, sacrifice, and selflessness and offer them a helping hand when needed, not as charity, but as a courtesy bestowed by a grateful nation. I thank all of our wounded and disabled veterans for making the trip to the cemetery today, both to be recognized but also to honor their fellow fallen comrades. Please take a moment today and give these servicemen and women an extra thank you and spend some time with them and learn about the challenges they face every day and their victories, some large and some small, they continue to always achieve. We are gathered here today at this memorial site and memorial sites all across America to remember that we are one nation with one flag. We are all proud to be Americans that live in a free society made up of many people, many races, for many walks of life. The freedoms we enjoy today have not come without a price. Lying here before us in cemeteries throughout this nation and some overseas are men and women who gave their lives so that we can live in freedom and without fear. We can worship as we see fit. We can raise our children to believe as we do. We can travel from one end of this great nation to the other without asking for permission. We are free to vote for whomever we feel should be in office and answer to no one but our own feelings. We have the right to succeed or the right to fail at whatever endeavor we wish to pursue. The United States of America was founded on the ideals of freedom, justice, and equality. Our nation stands as a shining beacon of liberty and freedom to the world. We thank those who gave their lives and keep us free, and we shall never forget. We shall always remember. Today, many of you here are veterans of wars and conflicts that America's had to fight and to protect the innocent and oppressed. America has always been the first nation to stand up for the freedom of people around the world. Many of you here today have answered that call and served your country well. And for that, we need to say, and I would like to say, thank you. We're honored to know you. There are many men and women serving today in all branches of the military here at home, in places far away, and names you've never heard of before. These men and women are part of the best trained, best equipped military in the world. We honor them and their families for the sacrifices they make each and every day to keep this country safe from terrorism, hatred, and injustice that plague the world community. When you see a veteran or an active duty member, take a moment to say thank you. We owe them our way of life, and a moment of your time will always be well spent. Quoting the 40th President of the United States, freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it to our children in our bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same. Or one day we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it was once like to live in the United States when men were free. Today we show a united front of national unity all across the United States for America as we remember the fallen, honor those who serve, and teach our children the value of freedom. Present arms. Present arms. Now, Staff Sergeant Pope will lay a remembrance wreath, holiday wreath, in memory of Private First Class Clarence Burrell Craft, Medal of Honor winner, World War II, and Private First Class Edward L. Ritchie, and all those who served and are serving in the United States Army. Petty Officer Michael Stewart will lay a remembrance wreath in memory of Hospital Corpsman 3rd Class Beatrice Lindsay and all those who served and are serving in the United States Navy. Now, Master Sergeant Harvey, United States Army, will lay a remembrance wreath in memory of Corporal Chad S. Wade and all of those who served or are currently serving in the United States Marine Corps. Now, Captain Krebs will lay a remembrance wreath in memory of Lieutenant Colonel Casey James Land and Master Sergeant James Leroy Quinn and all those who served and are currently serving in the United States Air Force. Now, Commander David Waldrop will lay a remembrance wreath in memory of Steward's Mate 2nd Class Raymond C. Wilkie and all those who served and are currently serving in the United States Coast Guard. Now, State Representative Charlie Collins will lay a remembrance wreath in memory of Thomas Perry Shaw and those who served or are currently serving in the United States Merchant Marine. At this time, we'll take a moment. I'd like to introduce Captain Krebs from the University of Arkansas Honor Guard, ROTC Honor Guard, to do the POWMIA ceremony.
You may have noticed a small table here in the place of honor. It is set for one. This table is our way of symbolizing the acts that members of our profession of arms are missing from our midst. They're commonly called POWs or MIAs. We call them brothers and sisters. They're unable to be with us this day, and so we remember them. Let us remember the United States Army, honored by Cadet Bryant. Let us remember the United States Marine Corps, honored by Cadet Simone. Let us remember the United States Navy, honored by Cadet Houck. Let us remember the United States Air Force, honored by Cadet Hutchins. This table, except for one, is small. It symbolizes the frailty of one prisoner against his oppressors. The tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their intentions to respond to this country's call to arms. The single rose displayed in the vase reminds us of the families and loved ones of our comrades in arms who keep faith, awaiting their return. The yellow ribbon, tied so prominently on the vase, is reminiscent of the yellow ribbon worn upon the lapel and breasts of thousands who bear witness to their unyielding determination to demand a proper accounting for our missing. A slice of lemon is on the bread plate to remind us of their bitter fate. There is salt on the bread plate, symbolic of the tears of the families who wait. The glass is inverted. They cannot toast with us today. The chair is empty. They are not here. Remember, all of you who served with them and called them comrades, who depend on their might and aid and relied upon them, for surely they have not forsaken you.
And now our representative for our veterans, Fayetteville, will lay a remembrance wreath in honor of the 93,129 United States servicemen from all branches of the service whose last known status was either prisoner of war or missing in action. These individuals have never returned to their families and homes, and we shall never forget you. that, Alms. The wreaths before you represent our commitment as a united America to remember the fallen. We also want these holiday wreaths to symbolize our honor to those who have served and are serving in the armed forces of our great nation and to their families, who endure sacrifices every day on our behalf. To our children, we want you to understand the freedoms you enjoy today have not been free, but have come with a cost that someday you may also have to pay yourself. As a nation standing together, we can defeat terrorism, hatred, and injustice. Thanks to our veterans, we have the freedom to do just that. We could quote statistics of individuals buried around the cemetery, around the country, but at the end of the day, all you'd have is a bunch of numbers. What I would suggest to you today is to write down the information of a person, place there. When you return home, research that name and see what you find about those individuals. You'll find that they are real Americans with real families, that they are mothers or fathers, sons or daughters, brothers or sisters. They are more than just a statistic. And thank you. Our guest speaker this morning I apologize. Our guest speaker this morning is Ruth. I apologize, Ruth. My notes are not good.